It's time for NFL Week 14 player props. Let's talk a little pigskin. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're back to talk some more football. That's right, we got Week 14 player props, one of my favorite videos of the week. Two quick reminders, if you're looking for the best game bets that I give out, sides, totals, things like that, that video is out in a separate one, so go check it out. We give our Week 14 trends, our three best bets, and we have a plus 489 parlay as well. And then NBA, if you're looking for NBA bets on the weekend, if you're new to the channel, they're in three different places because we don't do videos on the weekends. On the community tab of our YouTube page, on X, and on Discord, which is completely free. Click that link below to join. But I'm ready to get into it. And that means we got to talk about our partner OUTLIER. That's right. Any graphics you see in this video or future videos are from an app called OUTLIER, the best player prop research tool on the market. It is awesome. Seriously, I use it every single day. Click the link below in the description. You get a 7-day free trial when you sign up. So I'm ready now. Here we go. It's time. And I'm going to bring back the dad joke for the football video. Here we go. What do you call pastors in Germany? German shepherds. Not bad. All right, in this video, we're going to talk the best player props for the weekend. I have 5 of them for you. And then we're going to give you our 3 favorite anytime touchdowns and wrap it all up with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help this channel to grow. And leave a comment. I want to hear your favorite player props also for this weekend. Love to hear it. There's always some winners in the comments. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Come join this awesome community and help us get on our way now to 35,000 subscribers. So let's get into it. And that means it's player prop time. All right, this first player prop happens to be our first 1.5 unit play of the NFL season. Give me the man, the myth, the legend, Brock Bowers. Over 68.5 receiving yards. Got this at -110 on Bet365. Again, for 1.5 units. If you can only get 69.5, I still like it. I don't see him landing right at 69. But let's talk about this one. We've already cashed with Brock Bowers earlier this season, and the books are just dropping lines as if he's like a good tight end. He's not. He's actually a top tier receiver is what he should be considered as, because he has been extremely elite this season. So let's dive into OUTLIER now and kind of break down all the numbers here. So as you can see, we're going to start out with 2024 right here. He is over in 6 of 12 games. And obviously, he's a rookie. It took him a while to find his role. 3 of those misses were at the beginning of the season. Over now in 5 of the last 8. But you can see when he goes over, he flies over. 93+ receiving yards in 5 of the last 6 overs. He is another good ladder guy. Now, I'm not going to have a ladder this show or this video, but I will say if you want to ladder anyone, this would be the guy I would do. So let's talk about how good he's been on the road now, too. So you can go up there and you change it to show only away games. And you can see he's over in 5 of 7 games and 5 of the last 6 road games, averaging 93.86 receiving yards per game on the road. It has absolutely been insane. So now let's go take off the road games. So let's just show back and let's show what he has done now with Aiden O'Connell. We want to kind of just show you all these different pieces. You type him in, and there is Mr. O'Connell. And now, as you can see with O'Connell in general, he is over in 4 straight games. He's only missed, again, back in September, doesn't mean a lot. A rookie, his first few games. But with Aiden O'Connell averaging 88.4, even more than that, obviously, if you take out that first game way back. But let's scroll down for some more stats. He's just absolutely crushing it with Mr. O'Connell, averaging 10.8 targets per game and 8 receptions. I mean, he is peppered with targets. And then you go over to the passing plays right next to that, and you can see the Raiders throw the ball as much as anyone. We're talking 65% passing plays because, well, the run game absolutely sucks. So let's scroll down, just look at some more numbers for Mr. Bowers here, and you can see the target share. It's not even close overall. This isn't with Aiden O'Connell. This is overall in the season. 113 targets, 27.1% target share. The next closest, Jacoby Myers. Guess what? He's questionable. There's a chance he doesn't even play. I mean, this is the Brock Bowers show, in my opinion. I'm expecting 1,000,000 targets for him. Now, if you look over at the matchup over there on the right, you can see the Bucks versus tight ends. It's about as good as it gets. Bucks rank 30th in receiving yards allowed to tight ends. I just love it. So now let's talk the game script real quick. We talked about this in the other video, honestly. I do think the Bucks win this game, but because of that, well, let's face it, the Raiders are always behind. So I expect them to be playing from behind, throwing the ball a lot, even though they already throw it no matter what. Because when you keep running into brick walls, because that's what they do in the run game, they're already going to throw the ball a lot. But let's look at the last 5 tight ends versus the Bucks now. Tommy Tremble, 5 catches, 77 yards. Yep, that happened. Rookie Theo Johnson, 3 for 39. Danny DeVito was the quarterback. George Kittle, 3 for 57. That was when McCaffrey was back. He had 6 or 7 catches. They have Debo. They have a ton of targets on that one. That's not the same as this one. Or as this, because Brock Bowers is the main guy that will get a ton of targets. Travis Kelce, 14 catches, 100 yards. Kyle Pitts, 4 catches for 91 yards. Now we're talking, in my opinion, the number one tight end in the NFL with nobody else really taking targets away. I like Bowers to have a huge game here. So give me Bowers over 68.5 receiving yards as my 1.5 unit play and my first best bet. All right, prop number 2 is a quarterback. Give me Will Levis over 210.5 passing yards at -115 on Bet365 for 1 unit. You guys know I love fading this Jaguars pass defense. It is awful. They have given up the most pass yards in the entire NFL, which is crazy because teams are usually playing ahead and they're usually having to run the ball and they play with the lead, but it still doesn't matter. Jags just know how to give it up. So quarterbacks versus Jaguars. How about 11 of 12 quarterbacks going over this line against Jacksonville? I'll let that sink in. It's absolutely crazy. But the only person that went under was Mr. Massage himself in Deshaun Watson. He was awful. He didn't go over anything, honestly. One of those 11 was a combo of Malik Willis, Jordan Love, but together they still went over. Jags giving up 273.2 pass yards per game this year. I don't really need to say much more than that. We just need 211 from Levis. And Levis, if you don't know, he's been playing much better since he took over as a starting quarterback yet again for the second time this season. But over in 3 straight games now with 295, 278, and 212 passing yards in the last 3 weeks. And now he gets probably the easiest matchup in the entire league. The Titans are already a pass-heavy team. They call pass plays on 60% of all their snaps in the last 5 games. His pass attempts line is set right around 30. In 2 of his last 3 games, he's thrown 31 and 37 times. So I'm expecting, around 28, 30 at least pass attempts here. The only worry here is maybe the Titans get out to a huge lead and blow them out of the water. I don't know if the Titans are capable of doing that, honestly. And if they do get out to a big lead, I want to think that it's because they passed for a lot of yards. And just a reminder from last week, I mentioned it already. Jags gave up a ton of big plays. They've given up 7 plays now of 50 or more yards, the second most in the NFL. 10 plays of 40 or more yards, the 4th most. I think Levis can get some yards in chunks on this one. I expect some big splash plays from him. Levis has a 98, 70, and 30-yard completion in the last 3 games. If Tony Pollard runs all over him and they barely pass the ball and that's just how they do it, I'll just take the loss. Obviously, but I just can't imagine Levis not getting some yards here and going over this line. Again, we're not asking for too much. We only need 211. So I like this one with 11 to 12 quarterbacks. Let's make it 12 of 13. Give me Levis over 210.5 pass yards as my second best bet. All right, prop number 3 is another quarterback, and we got an under. Give me Jalen Hurts under 25.5 pass attempts at -115 on Bet365 again. 1 unit play here. We're running this back. We cashed with his under pass attempts earlier this year. It was close, though. But as you can see by this outlier screenshot, since their bye week, things have changed. Under this line in 7 of 8 games, 22 or less in 5 of the last 8 games, they have become a run-first team. They just completely changed what they do, and now they're facing the Carolina Panthers. They are a bottom 3 run defense in the NFL, maybe bottom 1. I mean, they're terrible. I expect a lot of yards and a lot of running from Saquon and maybe some other Eagles running backs as well. If you look at Saquon's rush props, I think it's around 112 yards, which is just insane. This Panthers team gives up big chunks, whether it's through the air, on the ground, which means even if they do pass the ball, I expect them to not need a ton of passes to get all the way down the field as well. They have given up the 11th fewest pass attempts per game because teams just love to run on them. Game script here is what it's about, really. 13.5 point spread. I expect them to put a beat down on them. I don't expect much passing from Philly in the second half. Starters may even sit in the 4th quarter if we're looking at a big blowout. Again, it's hard to predict blowouts, but as long as Philly doesn't come out flat, they are obviously the better team by far. So overall, I expect a run-heavy script here, some big chunk plays downfield when they do throw the ball, not this dink and dunk kind of stuff. So I can't see the Eagles all of a sudden thinking we need to just pass it all over them when they've been winning week after week after week with the run first. And like I said, Jalen Hurts has gone under this almost every single week since the bye. So give me Hurts under 25.5 pass attempts as my 3rd best bet. All right, this 4th one is a kicker prop. That's right. Give me Tyler, all about that bass, over 2.5 PATs, -130 on DK. This could be a half unit play for me here. This is really what we need here is for the Bills to score 3 touchdowns. That's what we need. So let's talk about that real quick. Bills offense, 2nd highest scoring team in the NFL. You guys know they're really good, averaging around 30 points per game. I expect them to move the ball here versus a below average Rams defense in a great scoring environment, not outside in the snow or anything anymore. And James Cook should cook, honestly. Rams 28th in rush yards allowed per game. Just gave up 112 to Alvin Kamara last week, 255 to Saquon the week before. Insane. Bills' total touchdowns line is actually plus money, but it's set at 3.5. So the books are saying they're probably going to get 3 or 4 touchdowns in this one. I just need 3. That's all I need. So I'd be surprised if the Bills can't score 3 touchdowns here with the way they're playing, running the ball, throwing the ball, everything. The total in this game is around 50. I do expect the Rams to kind of push them a little bit, which will and compete with them. So I expect kind of a higher scoring game here and making the Bills play offense the entire game. Now, Tyler Bass. Let's talk about it. Over this line in 8 of 12 games this season. That's right. 4+ PATs in 6 of 12. Bill's offense has just been that good. He is 38 for 42 on PATs. I mean, honestly, the main bet here is we think the Bills are going to score, or I think the Bills are going to score 3+ touchdowns. It's up to Bass to knock him down. I mean, we could get unlucky maybe where he doesn't knock down one, but I also think he has a chance to attempt 4. And if he goes 3 for 4 again, we cash again. So I just like this second-rate offense to just continue to roll, score 3 touchdowns, and give Bass the chance. Give me no treble over 2.5 PATs as my 4th best bet. All right, this 5th player prop, it's another quarterback prop. I was not trying to do this, but it is what it is. Give me Sam Darnold over 249.5 pass yards at -113 on FanDuel. This can be a half unit play for me here. I do like the matchup here for Darnold. Falcons ranked 22nd in pass yards allowed. They have the worst pass rush on planet Earth. We have talked about this before. They are dead last in sacks with 15. The next closest team has 21. Darnold struggles versus pressure, but this is a game he should not struggle versus it because he's not going to see it. Falcons will sit in their zone. They will allow you to pick them apart. They try not to get beat deep, but again, we still got Jefferson, Addison, and these boys. The last 5 QBs versus Atlanta, Bo Nix over 300 yards. Justin Herbert, they struggled and they only threw the ball 23 times, but he did not go over. Derek Carr, he had 147, by the way. Derek Carr, 269 yards. Dak and Cooper Rush combo, 248 yards, and Baker Mayfield, 330. 4 or 5 QBs had 248 or more passing yards. Darnold's pass attempts line is at 32.5. We are expecting some passes here. In game script, I'm hoping Atlanta can keep this close. Minnesota hasn't exactly been pulling away from teams like they did early in the season. So if we can get a competitive game, it's going to make them continue to have to pass, or maybe they fall behind to Atlanta. You never know. That could help as well. But Atlanta plays at one of the faster paces in the NFL as well. And Atlanta, I expect to pass the ball a lot like most teams do because running the ball in Minnesota is hard. Why does that help? Well, incompletion, stop the clock, more possessions, more time, things like that. But with Justin Jefferson and a rising Jordan Addison who's playing really well, I see some big plays here. And even if they don't get big plays, I think he can beat them all the way down the field with passing. So I like Darnold to have a big game here through the year. Give me Darnold over 249.5 pass yards as my 5th and final best bet. Now, just a reminder, I do not have a ladder parlay today. Obviously, if I were to ladder someone, it is Sam Darnold, absolutely. Any added plays, though, I will put in the pinned comments. X and Discord might have a running back or receiver prop still to add. But we're not done yet. Let's get to the anytime touchdowns. All right, we got 3 anytime touchdown bets for you. We had a winning weekend last weekend. Let's do it again. These are a quarter unit each for me, not in a parlay or anything. First one, James Cook, anytime touchdown. We are running this back from last week. -110 on FanDuel. 12 total touchdowns this season for the TD machine. 1+ TD in 8 of the last 11 games. 42.9% red zone rush share. Next closest is the quarterback, Josh Allen, 24.7. Cook is averaging 3 red zone rush attempts per game this year. And the Rams have been a little above average for running back touchdowns, but it doesn't really worry me here with how potent this Buffalo Bills offense is. I think they're going to get a lot of chances, as we talked about earlier. I got to take a playable line here for one of the best touchdown guys in the entire NFL. So give me James Cook. Second one, long shot. Here we go. Nick Westbrook-Akine, +230 on FanDuel. He is a receiver for the Titans, if you don't know. This is a dream matchup, like I already mentioned. The Jags ranked 28th in touchdowns allowed to wide receivers. They've allowed 24 touchdowns through the air. It has not been pretty. Giving up the most net yards per pass attempt in the NFL. Nick, I'm going to call him Nick, NWI, whatever you want to call him, scored in 3 straight games now. This guy has scored in 3 straight. We're getting a +230 line. He has really stepped up since DeAndre Hopkins left. Like I said earlier, they also give up a ton of plays. 3 of Akine's last 4 touchdowns were from 27 yards out or more. He scored some big plays, including a 98-yarder when they were on their own goal line. He has a good shot at catching a big one for a touchdown here in this one. At +230 for a guy who scored in 3 straight, has a great matchup. I got to jump on it. So give me NWI as the second one. Third one, Jonnu Smith of the Miami Dolphins. You guys know we bet him a couple times, and he has come through for us. +195 on FanDuel. I got this one. He has been an absolute monster lately. 101, 87, and 113 receiving yards for the last 3 games. Tua's looking to pass short, get rid of the ball since he got back from the concussion. And Jonnu has massively benefited. He has become the number one pass catcher on this team right now with how they're playing. Jonnu, 3 touchdowns now in the last 3 games. He also has 7 red zone targets in the last 3 weeks. Targets overall, 8, 11, and 11. That's right. He is looking his way quite a bit in the last 3 weeks. He's Tua's number one guy. Matchup, Jets have done well limiting tight end touchdowns. I think it's kind of baked into the line a little bit, and it doesn't worry me too much because this Jets defense is getting honestly worse and worse every single week. So I'm not too stressed out about it, especially with how many chances I think he'll get. So I love getting almost 2-to-1 odds on Tua's number one pass catcher. Give me Jonnu Smith as the third one. Those are all the player props and the anytime touchdowns. Again, I might add 1 or 2 player props before Sunday. If I do, it'll be in the pinned comments below on X and on Discord. So before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. There it is. We start out with a 1.5 unit play. Brock Bowers over 68.5 receiving yards, -110. And then Will Levis over 210.5 passing yards, -115 for a unit. Jalen Hurts under 25.5 pass attempts for another unit. Tyler, all about that bass, over 2.5 PATs, -130. That is a half unit play. And then Sam Darnold over 249.5 passing yards is another half unit play as well. And then anytime touchdowns, a quarter unit each for me because I play it safe with these. James Cook, anytime TD at -110. NWI, anytime TD at +230. And Jonnu Smith at +195. Taking a couple of long shots there on the touchdown bets. So that's what I got. Thank you guys for listening. As always, if you haven't already, hit that like button. And go check out that NFL best bets where we give out trends, a parlay, and different things like that as well. But thanks again. Hope you enjoy NFL Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon.